Hi, and welcome back to episode 2 of my playthrough of Drumroll. In my last episode I was only able to capture the very first turn of Drumroll. I promise that during this episode I will really go through the remainder of the round, so maybe until 4 or 5, and then we will have a look at how the actual performances are working out. So then let's get started, and as of this turn Red would be the starting player, and let's see what he will do first. The Red player is currently located in Vienna, and it seems that the people of Vienna really are crazy about tamers and jugglers. The problem is Red only has one tamer, and there is no other tamer in the hiring area here. There is of course a juggler, but Red doesn't have a juggler either. So Red may think of waiting for the next round, maybe during the next cleanup or replenish phase a tamer will show up. So let's just place his first worker here on the red area, and this time I will play it right. I will do the action resolve after all the players have placed their workers. Blue definitely wants to have or to hire this cannonball man here. And so he's placing his first chip here on the hiring space for the performers. As it's green first preparation turn, he is still allowed to place money on the bank representative, but keep in mind the bank representative personal card is only scored by the end of the game, and really depending on how many coins are on the card, you gain that many victory points in return. For example, if you would have 5 golds by the end of the game on this card, you could gain 3 additional victory points. I think right now we just give it 2. You can put any number of coins on this card basically. It really doesn't matter, or it's up to you. It's really only counted by the end of the game. Green also wants to hire someone, a performer card, so he also would place his worker there. Red needs money, so he places his second worker on the ticket booth. For his planned new hire for the performer, Blue definitely needs to have a yellow resource, so let's put a worker there. And as Green still has more than enough money, I think he would place his second worker to the investment card, so he would have to pay 1 coin and would be allowed to grab 1 card from the investment deck here. But again, we will do that in the official action resolution step. Red wants to have even more money, so he also places his second or third worker in this case on the ticket booth, and you are allowed to place up to 2 workers per turn on the ticket booth here. Blue needs money as well, I think, so let's place his last worker also on the ticket booth. And let's Green grab another resource. Let's go for this blue custom cube. And that's already it. So let's resolve the action, and we start from bottom to top, because on the bottom is the first player. So this would mean Red advances once and twice on the ticket tracks, so that's 1 and 2. In total this means he would be allowed to grab himself 7 additional coins, and he really needed those. Blue has only spent 1 ticket or disc there, so let's advance him 1 space ahead, and this would give him 3 additional coins. Green wants to spend 1 coin to grab an investment card, and this is a trailer bonus, and this icon here shows that this investment card can only be played by the end of the game, and for each trailer you later would possess, you are allowed to gain an additional victory point. So let's place that here besides the board of the green player. Note that you normally have a hand limit of 2 of these investment cards. You are allowed to increase that hand limit by hiring magicians. Let's look at the next action. This would be to hire performers. Blue would go first, and he wants to hire the cannonball man, so this would cost him 6 of these gold coins, and then he would be allowed to claim himself the cannonball man. Now he has already 2 of these acrobats, and that's nice. Next it would be Green's turn, and he wanted to go for this juggler here. He has to pay 3 gold coins, and then he can also claim his third performer. The next actions are easy. Blue gets a yellow one, green gets a blue one and red gets a red one. As all actions are resolved now, we can place the discount tokens on all the performers and personnel that has not been hired in this turn, so they're really getting cheap. Next we come to the distribution phase, and let's see what green will do. I think he will just make those two performances even better. Red will place one stone there and one stone here. And for blue it's quite easy. He will just put a stone on the remainder of his performers, which means that up to now all of his performers are able to actually perform in the next show. And this is really not too bad. Let's replenish the performer cards. So we need 2 additional. That's a conjurer, so another magician. And this would be another tamer. And so let's have a quick look at the complete offering. So I think we have now a problem because we are only allowed to have 2 of a kind in the offering. At least that's been set for the setup. I'm not so sure if this is also valid for the actual gameplay later on. I would say yes, because it's really kind of a problem. So let's get rid of this conjurer here and draw a new one. And this is another cannonball man. If I'm wrong here, or if I'm interpreting the rules incorrect, please let me know and I will do the appropriate changes, or at least add some comment to the video. Let's move the turn track and give the starting player token to the blue player. And he directly starts the new round, and he places his first worker here to grab himself a white cube. And while I'm playing solo, I really have noticed it's much easier for me to remember what I originally planned, so I will resolve the action instantly now. So again, I know what I'm doing and I know what all the other players are doing, so I think this really shouldn't be a problem. So let's just grab the white stone here. I will place it here so to make everyone aware it's not yet on the player's reserve, but in respect to the player cards or to the performer cards and so on, it's really much easier that way. Green definitely needs money. Oops. So let's place his first chip here and let's move him down. And this will give him 3 additional coins. I will place it beside the game board so everyone is aware he's not having it already. For red, that's perfect. So what he planned for is basically, or has come true. So he needed another tamer. He got one, so he places his first worker here on the hiring performer field. And I think I also make some note here that I know, okay, he wanted to go for this performer. Blue definitely has some cost because of his vast amount of performers, so I think he needs to place his worker again near the ticket booth to make him also move 1 space down here. Green definitely needs a red resource cube in order to give the Joker Clown something to work with. Let's have red go and grab himself an innovation card, an investment card, sorry. His last worker, blue, will use to grab himself another resource cube. And green also sends his last worker here to grab himself a green cube. And red still needs some money. So let's place this guy here on the ticket booth so he would be allowed to move to the 4th step now, or the 5th step. And this would give him 5 additional gold coins. Again, that's it. So we already resolved these 3 actions, but we have not resolved the investment card action, so red needs to pay 1 gold coin to draw himself an investment card, and this is a resource bonus, also is scored by the end of the game, and for each 3 resource cubes you have, you gain 1 additional victory point. It's important to mention that only cubes left in your storage area count towards this investment card. Next, red wants to hire the elephant tamer here, so he has to pay 3 gold coins. And this gives him the 2nd tamer, which is very good, because remember, he's performing at Vienna and they're really crazy about these tamers. And the last action are only resource collection actions, so this is done very easily. Let's place the discount chips quickly. One here. These are now going for free basically. 1 and 6. But after the next round, if these guys won't be hired again, they will be removed from the game. Let's distribute the resources, and I think this time green only wants to send 1 resource cube to the Joker clown. He wants to keep his green cube for, I think, this action here. Red doesn't have any of those resource stones, so we can jump directly to blue, and I think he will only use 1 cube as well, trying to keep 1 stone for one of the performances here. Last thing to do would be to replenish the performance, and here we have a Flame Eater. Pretty cheap in respect to hiring cost, but I think definitely worth to hire him. Let's move to turn number 4 and give the starting player token back to the green player. Let's place the first worker here. Green wants to go for one of these very inexpensive magicians. Red needs a green cube and blue wants to have an investment card. Green needs some money as well, so let's move him down 1 step. And red wants to hire a personnel card. I think he will go for some of these cheap agents. Blue also wants to have more money. And green needs a white cube. Red wants a red cube. And blue also goes for an additional resource cube. Again, this was a quick turn, so we already resolved these 2 at the ticket booth. Let's have a look what blue gets for his innovation card. And that's a personnel bonus. So for each personnel you gain an additional victory point, and this can really be nice. Okay, let's see which personnel card red wants to hire. I think for him it's pretty simple. He wants to go for the personal assistant here. This means he would have to pay 2 now, and then he would be able to claim this personal assistant here. And this is very cool because this allows him to exchange 1 white cube with a yellow and a blue cube, and because of his investment card this might really be important. Green wanted to hire one of the tricksters here, and this is basically for free, so he has to not pay any money at this point in time. Still, they have a salary, so let's place this guy next to the Joker clown here. And last thing to do would be to give the appropriate resources to the workers here. Again, we have to place the appropriate token on the cards, so that's 1 here, 1 here. There will be no additional discount token on the trickster. He will just be discarded and removed from the game, but still we have to place 1 here and 1 on the agent, so the agent on top of that is also very inexpensive at this point in time. Let's do the resource allocation or my moving, and I think I will just move 1 stone down to the trickster. Red will use his green cube to more or less equip the elephant tamer, and yellow will place a 2nd cube on the rope walker here, so the rope walker is now worth 4 gold coins for each performance. Let's replenish the performers. This is a mystic dancer and a contortionist. And then we have to draw an additional personnel card, and this is the general supply. And this is very cool because this allows you during the distribution phase to move up to 3 resource cubes to your performance instead of only 2. Let's move the turn track 1 space ahead, and now we are on the 5th turn, so theoretically this could be the last turn before the actual performance. Then let's move the starting player token to red, and he will start the turn by claiming himself a white cube. Because of the investment card that blue has, he wants to hire himself a personnel card. Green just moved his first worker to the ticket booth to move ahead, which will bring him 5 additional gold coins. Red grabs himself another resource cubes, in this case the costumes, very nice. And blue goes for a green promotion cube. Green goes for a yellow equipment cube. Not sure if that's really wise, but I think red will grab himself another cube. Still, blue has really loads of performers, And he will also have a personnel card after this round. So let's grab some more money. Again, we have to move this token ahead. And this time he only gains 3 money for the next step. And green puts his last worker on the investment action here. And that's it for this turn number 5. And so we come to end of turn again. So resolve the action. I already resolved the money action here. Let's have a look green guy is doing here. So he pays 1 coin to check out the investment card. Oops, it's not very sharp here, crisp. And this is the extended applause, and this is played during the first, second and third performance. And this is good and bad. Actually, this gives you an additional victory point for each performer who's doing basically a 3-star performance. But you also suffer a loss of a victory point for each bizarre performer. So this is the bizarre performer here, which only does a poor performance. So let's place that here. So this is his second investment card, but because he has the magician here, oops, he's allowed to have 1 additional card on his hand. Also, this extended applause is not a problem for him because his only bizarre performer has at least a 2-star rating, so he does not get an additional victory point, but he does not lose one either. Blue wants to hire personnel card. Originally, I really thought going for one of these inexpensive performers on top, but the general supplier is really so damn powerful that I definitely have to hire him. So let's pay the 3 coins of hiring charges and grab ourselves the general supplier. Again, the rest is only collecting some resource cubes. Again, we come to the distribution phase, and I think green player wants to make a good performance out of the trickster's performance. Red wants to give the last resource to this guy and 1 additional resource to the contortionist. Blue could give theoretically now 3 resources to the performers. He only has 2, but he only places 1 here at the cannonball man to give him a good performance. Now, before we are going to replenish and put discount tokens on the performers and the agents, we will have the official vote. So now each player can vote secretly with a coin in his hand if he wants to extend the preparation phase or not. As I'm really playing alone and I think everyone is well prepared, I agree with myself that I will not extend the preparation phase. So in this case, after the performance, all the personal cards and all the performers will be discarded anyway. Let's come to the actual performance and start with the green player. The Mystic Dancer did a good performance. So this would mean we check under the good performance icon, and here we get 1 of this trailer basically for free. We now have to assign this trailer to 1 of the cards, and normally you would give them to a performer with the highest cost basically, but all of the performers on the green player's hand have the same salary at this point in time. Oh no, they're not, sorry, no, especially this one not, because this is dependent. So I think let's just give it to the elephant tamer here. So instead of the normal 3 salary, the elephant tamer only costs us now 2. Additionally, the green player gets 1 additional victory point for this trailer by the end of the game because of his innovation card here, investment card. Let's have a look what the elephant tamer does. He or she also does good performance, so he would be now allowed to exchange 1 cube from his reserve. So let's take the yellow one, and this would give him 4 additional coins, so we would just exchange that here. The Joker Clown gives a poor performance, but still poor is good enough to claim ourselves a yellow resource cube, which you put here, and I will put that on the private reserve. And the Trickster gives a good performance as well. So he's now allowed to have a look at the top 2 investment cards and can keep 1. So we have extra resources. This is not too bad. And this is basically also not bad. it really doesn't matter that much, but maybe this is kind of better. So let's keep the extra resources for the yellow resources. And now we have to pay the salaries. And this is a bit tricky because of the Mystic Dancer for the Bizarre performers here. And this means for every Bizarre performer you have to pay 1 gold coin. Luckily we only have one, so we only have to pay 1. For the Elephant Tamer we need to pay 2 because of our trailer here. The Joker Clown wants to have his full 3 gold coins, and the Trickster wants to have, oops, let's give him 2 back, wants to have 3 salaries, so we give that back to the reserve. And the bank representative also wants to have 1 gold coin, and that leaves the green player with 6 gold, which is not too bad. All the cubes are staying there as long as they are not flipped to the backside, but I think I will explain that in a later turn. Let's have a look at the performances of the red player. The Contortionist on the left does an outstanding performance, and this would grant him immediately 6 gold coins. For the good performance of his second Contortionist, he directly gains 5 more gold coins. Both the Lion Wrestler and the Elephant Tamer allow you to exchange any resource to 3 gold coins each, and I think this is what I'm going to do. So I will pay these 2, so 1 here and 1 here. So I would be allowed to grab myself an additional 6 gold coins. I could now decide whether to flip the Contortionist here because he already did an outstanding performance, but I think I would rather wait another round. So let's pay our salaries here as well. So that's 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, and 3 there. And we also have to pay our personal assistant, so that's 2 more to pay. And this leaves him with 4 additional gold coins. This is still also fine. Of course, we must not forget we are performing in Vienna. And because we have 2 of these tamers in our performance, we would be allowed to gain 2 victory points. So that's 1 and 2. Let's see how the blue player does. So we have 6 gold here, 4 gold here. That's a total of 10 gold. For this Mystic Dancer we are now allowed to grab ourselves 1 trailer, and we will give this trailer to our most expensive performer. This is the Cannonball Man. So the Cannonball Man only costs us 5 per round. And the Tiger Tamer, we can exchange 1 resource. We take the yellow one here, and this will bring us 3 additional gold coins. Let's do the salaries. Our Rope Walker costs 4, 5 for the Cannonball Man, 1 for the Mystic Dancer because right now it's our only Bizarre performer, and we have to pay 4 for the Tiger Tamer and 1 more for the General Supplier, which brings us to 9 gold coins. We are in London and we have 2 of these acrobats, and this would give us also 2 victory points. That's 1 and 2. Nice. Now we do some cleanup. First of all, we put the turn track back to number 1. We will move the presentation track down to level 2. Then all the ticket prices go up back to 0. And the last thing to do would be to completely wipe the hiring area of personnel and performer cards and start the second performance year, or what you would ever call it, with a new set of performers and personnel. Additionally, we move the locations to the player to the right. So basically, red will now perform in Moscow, blue in Vienna, and green in London. So, but I ended here. It was a quite long episode, and I hope everything got clear to you. I hope I haven't made too many mistakes. Sorry for my inconsistency in respect to when the actions are being resolved. Really, playing this alone is very complicated, especially when thinking for 3 players, and never have played this game before. So during the next episode I will do some more turns, and I'm really not so sure if I will do a full turn again, so whatever until the final performance. I really need to see if that makes sense, or if this episode really doesn't get too long. I hope you enjoyed it, hope to see you soon in my next episode of Drumroll, and until then, bye bye.